So I tell this story a lot because it's a recent occurrence in my Christian journey, which I consider a lapse in my walk with Christ. It's one of those things that for me, I was never prepared for that kind of situation. Sometimes when you think about sins and ways by which you can offend Christ or God, you think about lying and stealing, even think about things like having premarital sex, those kinds of things. You think about it, and sometimes your mind is prepared for a reaction when one of those things happen to you. But this one was not a particularly common thing that came to my mind often. And when it happened to me, I was like, oh. And because I also got convicted, immediately it happened to me. It's basically similar to the story of Peter when he denied Jesus Christ. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Bible verse. It's in the Gospels, but it's from the story of Matthew. You can read Matthew 26, 34 to 35. Basically, 34 to 35 just told Peter, like, bro, I'm going to be dying soon. Peter is swearing his allegiance to Jesus, like, oh, it's me and you for life. And just like, you're going to deny me in the next few hours. Today, 3 times, not even once. And Peter was like, never. Okay, now. Then 69 to 75 describes giving different scenarios where Peter had encounters with people that were like, hey, are you that guy that rose with Jesus? Hey, are you that guy that rose with Jesus? Hey, are you that Jesus guy? And Peter denied Jesus 3 times. And when the cock crowed, he remembered what Jesus said and realized that he had just denied Jesus, whom he swore his allegiance to. So that's kind of like what happened to me. And I don't know about other Christians, but that's not a situation that I think I'm going to be in often. Like lying or like being arrogant or whatever. That's not what one I was prepared for. This is how it happened to me. I moved cities about 2 years ago. In the course of my move, months leading to my move, I had been interacting with my realtor and my lawyer just to get the move ready. It was virtual transactions. We were just sending emails, doing video calls. We had not seen a person. And both of them lived in the city where I was moving to. So by the time I moved, we just decided to hang out and say, hey, we were transacting for a couple of months. Let's just meet up in person. It's been very stiff and professional. Let's meet up for dinner. Let's hang out. You're new in the city. Let's get you settled in and just help you, find your way around. I'm like, cool. I met up with both of them at a restaurant and we just got talking. Basic introductions now. For context, one is Italian, one is French, and I'm Nigerian. So we don't have conventional English names. Our names are very cultural. And if you're not aware, my name is Detan for short, but my full name is Oyedele, which basically means Jesus is coming soon. Verbatim, God is here. But the translation that my parents had in mind when they named me Oyedele was Jesus is coming soon. And that's what I've always known it to be. So I met these 2 guys, one French, one Italian, weird names, just like my name. I don't know anybody who bears my name. We're talking about our names. What does it mean? Stuff like that. This other person explains the meaning of his name. And here's Detan. Asked what does Detan mean? Just for a second, I knew the translation of my name and I thought about it that, is this the moment that I want to disclose to this young man that I'm a Jesus baby? Because I knew the possibility of letting them know that the meaning of my name is Jesus is coming soon. And I knew that it would connote something immediately. I didn't know these 2 people from anywhere. I didn't know their religious, moral stance on anything, right? So I was just meeting them for the first time. So I was like, am I putting my best foot forward by outrightly declaring my affiliations to Jesus Christ? For a split second, I thought about it. And I thought it was just safe not to do that. Because I'm like, I'm new here. I don't want to be that Jesus girl that people don't want to relate to anymore. And I want to make friends. So I concluded within a split second that, what kind of interpretation can I give my name that will not include Jesus? I go, well, my name means the world is coming to an end. And that was it. And we're like, oh, okay, that's very rich. A lot of Nigerians, give their children sentence names. Everybody says that. And immediately I said it, I felt so convicted because everything I kept in the idea of the name, I removed the substance, which is Christ. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, but if Christ comes, which is radical, the world is going to end. So, might as well play safe it. The world is going to come to an end. And then we had a good time the rest of the evening. I just kept having this thinking, like, what have I done? What have I done? How did I get to this point? The Holy Spirit even told me, like, so you just edited the Jesus part of that entire sentence. Why? And then I really felt bad because I'm like, my name is one of the things that I take pride in. Even though I go by my short form name often, I take pride in the shock factor that it gives people when I say my name means Jesus is coming soon, or my name basically means rapture. And they kind of know where you stand, or at least where your parents stood or stand. They kind of know what your background is, whether you're still there or not. It kind of connotes that I'm from somewhere that we believe strongly in Jesus Christ. And I kind of like the shock factor that my name gave people whenever I told them, up until that point where I felt the need to cower and hide. I dealt with it. I told God to have mercy on me. I had to really think about, why did I feel the need to not affiliate with Christ? There was something I needed to do about it. I needed to be a bit louder about my religion. I could imagine how Peter felt when Jesus told him, guy, you're going to deny me. I was like, no, because you never think you will. Sometimes you think it's always like that very in-your-face kind of confrontation around your stance and your religion and your faith. This was just subtle, and he communicated something immediately when I couldn't take his stand. I know that sometimes it may be difficult for a lot of us to publicly declare our faith. Sometimes it's safer to even play neutral. On social media, people post about their family and this and that. Some people don't post their affiliations to any religion or anything at all. Sometimes it's safe to play neutral, because think about it. In the case of Peter, he was really trying to avoid literally being killed for Christ's sake. I'm not even putting what I was going through on the same level as what Peter experienced, because I wasn't just trying to make friends. Peter was trying not to get killed, because if they knew that he was one of Christ's followers, they were going to crucify him along with Christ that night. So he was literally trying to not get killed. Even in the Sermon of the Mount, where Jesus said, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for that's the kingdom of heaven." Sometimes we don't usually think of persecution as some of these subtle things, like taking a stand, even if people don't think you're cool, or people don't feel like you're easy to relate with. Partly because of what the world has made Christianity to be, or partly because of what other people have affiliated Christ with. That has nothing to do with my stance. If other people have tarnished the image of Christ, it has nothing to do with Christ, and it has nothing to do with my relationship with him. That's just their relationship with Christ. So I don't need to shy away from my relationship with Christ because some other people may have ruined the reputation of Christ. You understand? If anything, I should take a stand for him and be better Christ ambassador. I should not be neutral about it. If anything, I should represent correctly. But I have missed out on the opportunity. And sometimes also we think that persecution is like all this. Look, persecution is actually all around the world. There are people that are literally being killed just for taking a stand about Jesus Christ. Mine was just the fear of not making friends. And so I'm not comparing the two, but I do feel like that is even a little bit worse, because it's subtle and it chips away at your identity. It chips away at your affiliation with Christ just a tiny bit at a time, until it becomes your norm and you're quite insensitive to it. It's one thing for someone to come to you and have a gun to your head and say, "Oh, are you a follower of Christ?" At least you just think to yourself, like, at least if I die, I wouldn't make it heaven right now, right? So I might as well just say yes, There might be that thought process. Like, if it's not a gun to your head, if it's just a little shift here, a little shift there, and you gradually continue to entertain those opportunities to shift away from affiliating with Christ, over time, you know what it means when two supposedly parallel lines are off by a degree. Gradually, they just start to deviate, and after a few meters or miles, you see that they're far apart. And that's what this subtle kinds of persecution does to you, where you just think, yeah, it's just a little bit of shifting of the truth. It's just a little bit of playing neutral in this circumstance. So it's really not that much of a big deal. I promise you it's a big deal. It's a big deal today. It's going to be a big deal tomorrow. And over time, you just realize that you've lost sensitivity and the passion and the quickness to affiliate with Christ. You've lost it. Those are some of the things that I picked from that experience. I prayed about it, asked the Holy Spirit to help me to unravel some things that made me also affiliate with him. And God is a God of redemption. And if you think that, oh yeah, I messed up in this situation, He will do well to give you another opportunity to still test that part of you that you think is lacking. And rightfully so, there was an opportunity that came up a few months after that. It was at work. About 4 of us were having a call. I had the first 10 minutes where everybody's just chatting about their weekend and what they're up to and stuff like that. So I joined the call and someone was like, oh, what's anybody reading? Coincidentally, at that period, I was reading a book called Holier Than Thou by Jackie Hill Perry. Everybody was going through the books that we were reading. This person was reading this business book. This person was reading this science book. And they asked me. I could easily have denied the book I was reading because I have like a bookshelf behind me that contains so many other non-Christian books. But I was like, yeah, this is the time and the opportunity. I'm reading a book called Holier Than Thou. You're like, what's that about? I was like, yeah, it's about the holiness of God and how God is good, but holy, just, but merciful. I just explained what I was learning. Shared the Amazon link to the book reading group. Like, if you're interested, this is the book, and we can chat about it. With that, my affiliation was very clear. Like, this is a good girl. I'm not going to miss out on this opportunity to show where I stand, because I missed out on it once, and that sucked. And I was proud of myself and happy with how God helped me to redeem that. In fact, maybe a few days after, someone that was on that call, when I shared the book I read, was having a one-on-one with me, and he was asking just my general opinion about some moral things and some things in the Bible and using God as an exclamation. And we just had like a cool chat about it. Nothing complicated. It was just good. It was okay. There was nothing. It was just a conversation. But we still have a very good relationship till this day. So my point is that even that thing that you're scared of, like, I'm not going to make friends. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to stay at school. It's all in your head. And that's just the enemy's way of trying to get into your head to make sure that you gradually and slowly lose your sensitivity and your passion for Christ. And I share this because I think it's a situation that a lot of us that are in the Western world, especially those of us that grew up in countries like Nigeria that is very, very religious, we encounter. In Nigeria, it's not a shame in some places to say you're either Christian or Muslim or whatever it is that you are. Most times when you get into the Western world, you see a lot of people that don't even have any religious affiliations. And then you're like, I need to play it safe. Back in Nigeria, if you tell a Muslim that you're a Christian, there's still that level of respect that at least you believe in God. Some may believe it's the same God. I don't think it's the same God. But there's that level of, at least you believe in some God. I believe in some God. We are bound by a set of moral rules here. But the moment you're getting into terrain of, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in any superior power and stuff like that, then a lot of us in this Western world struggle to fit it. We don't know how to navigate those situations where we are interacting with people that don't even believe in God. And that makes us a bit jittery. We're not prepared for those kind of situations. And sometimes we think that even if we play neutral like those people, then we fit in and we haven't done anything wrong. I think your stance with Christ is one of those things that you shouldn't play neutral about, especially because neutral connotes something in this part of the world. I don't think it's right for Christians to just act like, especially when the opportunity comes up. And I'm not saying shove your faith in people's faces. I'm not saying every other conversation has to be like wrapped in Christianity. I'm not saying, but I'm saying that when the opportunity comes, and you and I know when those opportunity comes, when the opportunity comes, when the right answer, the truth is going to reflect your stance, don't shy away from it. Don't play neutral, because neutral means something. And sometimes when the opportunity doesn't come, even as a Christian, it's our responsibility to create those opportunities, because we also need to consistently be on the lookout for where we are supposed to be able to evangelize and win souls for Christ and let people know that I'm a Christ babe, so that whenever I act the way I act, you kind of see Christ in me and you say, oh yeah, she's a Christian. I represent Christ very well. And I hope this was helpful, and maybe I'll do one of these chats over that time. Thank you.